Well, hello there. As though I'm surprised you showed up. Oh, look at this. How shocking. There's a camera over here that's pointed at me. When did that happen? Anyway, I'm running a little bit behind because this being the holiday season, we got family coming over, and I had to take pumpkin pies out of the oven and let them cool for 2 hours and put them in the fridge and all of that shit and just do all of the various housekeeping. Since you're watching this on YouTube, and I know you're watching it on YouTube because I haven't actually started the stream on Discord yet, remember to do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all of that horse shit, you know? All of that stuff. Now, this landscape should look familiar to you from last week, but it doesn't because none of you fucking watched it. Like, literally, I had 0 views. I looked this morning. There were 0 views on... Okay, there are 3 now. There are 3 views on the video now, but the average view was 12 seconds, so none of you actually saw me draw this shit. So, yeah. Anyway. I'm going to jump over to the Discord, and I'm going to scroll down and jump into a voice channel. And I'm going to go in here and stream to absolutely fucking nobody. Because that's how shit works for me. Nobody gives a shit what I do. That's fine. I'm doing this for me. I don't mean to make anybody feel bad. I'm just saying, you know, I come in here and I stream to absolutely fucking nobody. So if you're streaming to absolutely fucking nobody, look, we all have to do it, okay? It happens, okay? There's a point where you don't have an audience. You'll get one eventually. You'll get your chance. When it comes, you gotta grab on with both hands. Hold on tight. But anyway, so what I've been working on is a rock in a grassy field under a blue sky with fluffy clouds. That's what I've been working on. That's what I did last week. This is the result of that. So, over the course of this week, what I did was I turned around and I typed rocks in a grassy field under a blue sky with fluffy clouds. And I put that into Stable Diffusion. And I got all of this shit. Because the ongoing war on machine art is still going. People are still sitting there going, "Hey, the machines are coming to get us." No, they're not. Just relax. Just grow the fuck up. I mean, come on. It's like a camera. Okay? Cameras could produce pictures faster than artists. And everybody went, nobody's going to hire artists anymore. Do people still hire artists? Fuck yeah, they still hire artists. If the camera couldn't do it, and literally everybody has a camera in their pocket these days, if the camera didn't kill art, trust me, machines are not going to kill art. It's not going to fucking happen. The camera lucida didn't kill art. Camera obscura didn't kill art. The camera, the film camera, the digital camera, the disc camera. For God's sake, the GoPro didn't kill art. Nothing is going to kill art. The hell is wrong with you people? Relax. Anyway, here is all of the stuff that I got out of Stable Diffusion. Now, this is what I was trying to get. I want like a grassy field like this, and I want a rock in the middle of it, and I want fluffy clouds in a blue sky. And we come over here, and what do we have? Well, creating a new layer to work on here. Here we have rocks in a field under a blue sky with some fluffy clouds. And here we have rocks in a field. There's a blue sky up here, fluffy clouds. There's trees. I didn't ask for trees. I got trees. Here's rocks covered with moss. Here's a big pile of rocks. It's not much of a field. It's like the side of a hill. Up here is the clouds. You got the blue sky and the fluffy clouds every single time. We got trees a couple of times. And the whole thing here is that it never seemed to get that if you fill the field up completely with rocks, it's not much of a field. It just put way too many fucking rocks in the field that never managed to do what I wanted it to do. And this is about half an hour of working on it. 45 minutes total. I mean, when you consider all of the time that I spent starting it up and getting things running and putting in the prompt and all that sort of thing. And the important thing to remember is this. Number one, I fucked up a lot of stuff in this, and most particularly, the field doesn't really look like a field, does it? I mean, it's like, it could be just like green stone. It could be a real close-up on a big old plate of Jell-O. It doesn't do a very good job of presenting the texture of being a field. Now, one of the things you might do for that is you might go, hey, well, let's use some grass textures. Let's take some grass and we'll put it in here. We'll make this a little bit smaller and we'll make it green and we'll just go, okay, yeah. Actually, we should do that on the actual grass layer. Well, we need to do it higher, don't we? And we need to do it up in front of the rocks. We're going to do rock 2 main, and we're going to create a brand new layer on top of that. And we're going to go, you know what? We need some grass in front of it. That's a little bit too dark. You know what? Let's start by sampling that. Now we'll just sort of go around the edge there and make ourselves some grassy area. We could do that out along here. You just kind of yeah, but I don't like that. I don't feel like it looks right. I mean, it's the right idea in the sense that you do want the grass to sort of be, you want to have kind of a texture of grass, but this seems to me like, I mean, it does look like grass, but I don't like it. I don't like the way that looks. I feel like it's not in keeping with the general idea. I don't feel like that. I mean, that does the job, but doesn't look right, you know? I'm not fond of this. And I could see this being a nifty little shortcut that you might want to take and just go, okay, let's make the grass look like grass. I don't like it. I don't like using a brush texture like that. I feel like I should feel like there should be like a if I go to starting and ending, I feel like I should be able to set this up. So, yeah, there we go. So I could like, I could just kind of do some grass bit. Because as I was looking at the rocks, Stable Diffusion, I was struck by kind of a little detail, which was, as you can see here, I've got this shadow around the rock, but the rock just looks like it's placed there, and it doesn't look like it belongs there. But when I put that little fringe around it, if you look over here, if we scroll in, you can see that here it's got the grass around the rock. And that grass conceals the shadow on the ground. So that is something that I want to do in my image so that it will actually appear to be part of the area that it's in. Got the mixer right here where I can easily get to it. That's very helpful. That's very useful. So by changing the starting, the ending is, there's a strength to the ending. So come over here. I just sort of little swipes upward. Think about direction, grass pointing, the direction that it would be going as a result of this rock being. Just think about it like that. Then I could put this little sort of grass fringe around there, and that immediately looks a whole lot better. And if we then compound that by coming in here and going, well, because there's grass all around the rocks, well, if there's grass all around the rock, that is going to cast a shadow on the rock, isn't it? So I can come in here with a very large brush, and we could turn off starting and ending, and turn off brush size. I can come over here to ink, and we'll drop the opacity. Actually, we'll take the opacity and we'll key it to pen pressure. Just kind of roam about in here. Wow, that's drop that way down. And just kind of, I want to get a little, we got the individual rocks. We got the individual rocks alpha bonded. No, kind of do that there, that there. Use a slightly smaller. Okay, we want it to be much Much soft brush tip. We're gonna. It's very soft. Yeah, that's what we're looking for there. So with the grass in here, making a kind of shadow. Let's kind of shadow that in. We'll come down here to the main rock there, and we'll put a shadow in that area. And once we got that taken care of, well, now we actually has that actually looks a lot more like it's sitting in the field. The field doesn't look especially good, but we do now see some kind of knitting of the landscape to the knitting of the landscape to the actual object. I'm gonna come up here to a little bit of blending to clear. That's not doing the right thing at all. Let's drag that rock out, that layer out. It's kind of, ooh, it's interfering. Yeah, that's the, okay, that is a problem with, that is a problem with how I laid all of this out and how I did my, yeah, it's an issue with how I did my layers of my shadow because I didn't know what I was doing. Now that I have a better clue on what I'm doing, you know, what I'm looking at here is this. We need to get back behind the rocks. We need to go back to down, take our hardness back up. We want to, starting and ending is going to be brush size. Starting and ending, there we go. All right, and that's gonna, okay, ink opacity needs to be not on pen pressure. There we go. Now, kind of drop that down. Sort of. Pass it. Let's get a slightly darker there. And we'll do thinner. Sort of grass in there and here. And if we now pop out and go over to, if we now pop out and take a look at this, the rock appears to be much more present in the space because it's actually got some foliage around it. And it's all been done with brush strokes and not with a custom brush. I don't like this using a custom brush thing. It feels like cheating. It feels like I should learn how to do it before I start using stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with using a custom brush for that, but I don't feel like I've earned the right to use that custom brush because I can't do it without the custom brush yet, you know? So I really want to work from the perspective of let's do everything manually and by hand, and do it in the old school fashion, because I don't feel like there's anything wrong with using a machine like Stable Diffusion, or like a custom brush, or like some kind of effect filter. I don't think there's anything wrong with using that to get the thing that you want, once you understand how to get the thing that you want without it, you know? And I feel like that's the important thing. Like, you shouldn't try to make a pie in the microwave until you've successfully made a pie in the oven, because you don't know what a successful pie looks like or feels like or what you're doing. You know, and the microwave makes it easier to make certain things and harder to make other things. So it's just a question of whether a pie is easier or harder in the microwave. It's harder. You can't make a pie in the microwave. It sucks. Don't make a pie. Terrible. I don't even know why I brought it up. It's awful. Like, don't even. So what I want to do with this then is I want to kind of you know what I need is a sort of I need is a blender that does this. And I think the fingertip, obviously much smaller, but I think this. That kind of does the street pulling fingertip blender. If I just find the sort of what if I unclip that? It's currently clipping. If I unclip it, right at all. What if I control click that? Selection from layer, create selection. Control I to invert? No. Oh, shift I to. That give me what I want? That gives me what I want. Okay, so come over here to grass. I turn off the clipping layer, and I delete the selection. And then I remove this, and then I remove the selection. That gives me more or less what I'm looking for right there. Yeah. Okay, so let's come in here. Let's take the edge over here. And what I want to do is sort of jump in here. I want to get very small. Kind of that out, and not sure how this is going to look, but a look, and it doesn't seem to be doing very. And it does give me a bit of a sort of. Maybe with a brush. If I pull out from that, and that is what I want to do is just kind of rough this up a bit. It doesn't seem like that's doing very much. It doesn't seem like it's very useful at all. So, working too small, or is it just too small in that vicinity? Like, how does this work toward? How does this work? How does that end up? That's not bad, I don't think. Your scale. If I just find the perimeter and just kind of pull in with that, if I go I make it. How's that doing in terms of giving me a meaningful texture? Go across. Maybe I can go a bit. If I just kind of feather that in, then I get something approximating meaningful edge. So I think that's actually doing pretty well. Actually, given texture gradation, that actually starts to look like actual grass here. Just by using that finger smudge. Just that little bit of texture makes a real difference. Let's yeah, that gives it some texture, and that little bit of texture is enough to kind of that sells the idea that this is grass. I don't know if I want to do that there. As we go out there, we just kind of hit the edges. Just putting that little bit of additional effort in there really kind of sells it. And just really sort of is it the and if you overhang and just kind of curl over the edge, kind of produces an overhang effect. Where the direction of the strokes kind of goes, hey, the grass is curving downward here because the land is falling away. And that really sort of sells this shadowed area over here. A little bit. That little bit of added texture really kind of sells the idea that this is grass. I mean, it's not good. It's not by any stretch of the imagination a good painting. But that really does make a difference. That's a meaningful difference in the results. So, yeah, that matters. Now, I would not say I'm getting results comparable to what Stable Diffusion is producing. Wait a minute. Oh. Hmm. The thing that I'm noticing here is that thing that I'm noticing is that okay. So a thing that I'm noticing here is that there are facets on the rocks that really sells the idea of them being, rocks. And it's kind of produced these arbitrary planes and they all have relatively sharp edges. It's blotchy. Don't know exactly how I'd go about duplicating it. I think the way I do it is to start with a kind of shadowed area. Let me go back to the landscape here. Pull that up. Man, that really does work. Obviously, it needs some additional effort, but now if I come over here and I go, okay, let me grab a gradient. I go start with duplicating a rock texture. And what I want to do here is go. I want to take the highlight color there, and then I want to come a little bit farther down. I want to go there, and I want to come a little bit farther down. I want to go there, and then I want to come down to the shadowed area and go. So this is kind of a rock texture that I can do. Now I can come over to my available textures. I can come down here into rocks. Let's make a new layer here. Go, this is gonna be, let's do a lasso. Kind of a shape like that. And now we'll take our gradient. We'll go toward the light, like so. And now, what I would do to kind of get these spotty faceted colors is I would take a relatively small brush. Now, so okay, I would just kind of patch it up. Kind of make the patchy. Hardness is up high. Actually, kind of grab an area. sample color, scrub in there. And having done that, we can then come in with the standard blender. And just take a standard blend, and we can get kind of big and just go back. Why is that pulling the, why is that pulling the background in? Yeah, it's pulling the green in. I don't like how this blender is working. If we come back to where we've gotten to, let's try locking transparency. That actually sells the idea of being a rock pretty well. If we now remove the selection, and we come in here and we just go, okay, we got the blender, the fingertip, let's that here, grass. No. No, that's got its transparency locked. So, we're going to do a layer then. New layer. Huh. Start here on layer 3. Go with the brush and just sort of paint in a bottom there. Then we'll go in with the blender. And I'm using too large. That's not it either. That's, well, this is the, opposed to the, I think around the edges of this, we want well-defined blades of grass, which means we want the brush, and we want the starting and brush size. Just want the hardness up. So, for this brush, for the actual texture, for the texture we want the smudge brush, but for the actual edges around a rock we want Yeah, we want a very soft. Pressure opacity, drop it down. Green. That actually looks pretty good. That's actually, it's starting to look like actual rocks in the middle of the field. That's kind of what I'm going for there. And one of the things I'm trying to illustrate here is that I sat down and I started working on this, and I said, you know, I started with something kind of crap, and now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to spend like 45 minutes on it. That's what I did with the AI stuff. I sat down with Stable Diffusion for about 45 minutes, and I made this stuff. And sitting down for 45 minutes just with a paintbrush, I got something much closer to what I'm looking for. And I don't know what I'm doing. So the idea that we're all going to lose our jobs as artists because of Stable Diffusion and other machines of its ilk, that's bullshit. That's not going to happen. We're still going to be as good as the AI for a lot of stuff. And on top of that, we're going to be better than the AI in a lot of ways. Like, if you look over here, this is something I was talking about on Twitter earlier today. The rocks are on top of a little hill. Rocks roll downhill. How did these rocks get up on the hill? They're not just naturally on the hill. Somebody put these rocks on the hill, but they don't look like rocks somebody would put on a hill. So they don't have that authenticity. They don't have the veritas. So yeah, I was unimpressed with Stable Diffusion's efforts to put rocks in a field under a blue sky with fluffy clouds. And I feel much happier about my shit landscape over here that I made. I feel like this is a much better result because it's closer to what I want. And the rocks are at the bottom of the depression instead of sitting on top of a little fucking hill, which makes no goddamn sense. There's a lot of improvement to be made here. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of practice to be had. A lot of lessons to learn. But I feel like I'm making more progress toward the thing that I want by practicing than I make by sitting down with a machine and trying to tell it what I want. And God, don't even get me started on how hard it is to get a fucking contractor to do this shit. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna duck on out of here and end the stream because this is pretty much what I wanted to go over today. I wanted to try and make the landscape better, try and make the rocks feel like they belong here more. They look more like rocks in a field and less like shit I just blobbed onto an image. So you know, do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all of that shit. Okay, bye.